Why are you planting that on its side?
Basically, I am planting it on its side since it is curved up at this angle. I can plant it all the way down to that curve so it can establish a better root system.
Very cool. And what kind of tomato plant are you planting?
These are turkey purple.
This will just sort of contain it. What you don't want is parts of the plant touching the soil because tomatoes are very susceptible to soil-borne fungal diseases, and how it gets spread is from the rain splashing up onto the leaves, hitting the soil and splashing the bacteria or fungus onto the plant. So you want to avoid that as much as possible. So, start with this one. These are easy peasy. Good chunk. That's it. It's done. So why don't y'all try with these? And again, let's alternate red and green and height. We're fun. Try not to stab it directly in the root ball. Definitely don't stab it in the trunk. You can keep it a little bit away from it.
That looks
About good.
Right, yeah.
These are like, ta-da! So there's a bunch of those over there. And we're gonna do this whole row with those stakes, and that guy's just gonna. Two different size ones. These are 6 foot, and I think there's 8 foot. Bigger the better, I guess. So, mine are all planted from the outside in. So these are basically going to go on the center line. Okay. Just move that away. And we can get them started in here. So in the tunnels, you've got a longer season. So your tomatoes can grow for a longer period of time. So it's really a waste of space to put the determinate tomatoes that all ripen at once in the tunnel, because what you want to do is keep it growing as long as you can, and they can get huge. They can like go past the ceiling. So the way that they are usually trellised, they're not staked, it's called trellising. And what we're gonna do when we get our supplies in, we bought jute twine that's pretty thick, and we're gonna run the twine from, it's like a natural material. They have different fibers. They probably have hemp, they have, I don't know what all you can get it out of. Or plastic, a lot of people use plastic, but I don't like it because then at the end of the season you have to like untwine it from the tomatoes. And the natural materials, you can just throw it all in your compost. So we'll tie it off on those rafters. Actually, we'll probably run like a PVC pipe along there and then tie it off on that. And then you bring the twine to the ground and use like a landscape staple, tie it onto a landscape staple and shove it in the ground. And then as the tomato grows up, we'll be pruning it so that it's a single vine, and we'll just twine the plant itself around the twine. Twine the plant around the twine. And because it's a natural fiber, it's kind of hairy, and the tomatoes are kind of sticky, so they will cling onto it and kind of support themselves on the trellising. So that's how we're gonna do it. A lot of times they'll have like a plastic string, and then they use these clippy things. We have some somewhere, I'll show you at some point. They're just plastic clips. But again, I don't like to use all that plastic if you don't have to. And it makes it a real pain at the end of the season. It makes taking the tomato house down a nightmare, and nobody ever wants to do it. And yeah, and they only last one season, and then the UV breaks them down, and they're just terrible. You've used them. Yeah. They're terrible, am I right?
Only like one or two survived.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna do it the other way. But you can see how much bigger these plants are than the ones that we planted outside, and that's because Well, we just planted them all kind of at the same time, so I guess this isn't a good year to show that difference. But usually you can get it out here a little earlier than you can, but we've just had such a freezing to warm transition this year that it didn't matter. But they'll be in here longer than the ones out